Well, I was doing a showing, and luckily I was showing one of my good friends.
Okay.
A loft down in downtown San Diego.
Oh God, I'm scared.
And we went up to the top of the loft, and there was like a used bed and a used condom hanging out.
No.
No. It's disgusting.
No.
And I'm like, thank God this is my friend here and not like a,
And also,
I guess anybody. But
again, to reiterate, you were the buyer agent. Mm-hmm. So there was a listing agent not there because it was just like on lockbox, basically. On lockbox. Okay. All right. So. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Behind the Lockbox. I'm Stephanie Zalowski. Cam is not with us. She'll be out the next couple of weeks. We miss her, but she will return. Today, we have Jenny Tormey with us. Is that how you say your last name?
Yeah,
I forgot to ask you before I was like, I'm going to mess this up, but I didn't. Okay, good.
Like tore me in half.
I know. This is already going to be like such a good episode. Okay. So Jenny from the Block, which is her Instagram handle, is an agent with Pacific Sotheby's International Realty here in La Jolla on the Anderson White team. She is a DJ, a singer, a real estate mogul. She can do it all. And you're a good DJ because I can attest to it. I've been to a couple open houses where you were DJing and it was like, I was like, yeah, girl. Anyway, Jenny, welcome to Behind the Lockbox.
Hi, thank you for having me,
Thank you for being here. Okay. So when you walked in, we were kind of chatting about like what you're going to talk. Oh, wait, hold on. I just saw the Mapquest before. Okay. So guys, I get a text probably like, I don't know, 12:15. It's like what, 1:15 right now from Jenny. And she's like, hi, love. Okay, I'm on my way. P.S. Dropped my phone in the lake in Chicago. I'm texting you from my MacBook and I printed out directions on how to get to your house. Show the people for YouTube. She printed out. Okay, for all of you that are young, you may not remember Mapquest, but like that's how we got around back in the day. Like we were just pirates out there, just like, I don't know. Like we didn't have Google. So I'm really impressed by you. And the resourcefulness that is happening here is like so impressive. Anyway, Could you imagine if I had like a day of 6 showings, what I would do without a phone? No. Is it coming tomorrow?
It's coming today by the end of the day.
Okay, good.
But yeah, I've been without a phone since Friday. So what day is it? Wednesday.
Yes.
Is it Thursday? No, it's Wednesday.
Wait, is it Wednesday? It's Wednesday. It's been
a long week without a phone.
So you had to travel home without a phone. I mean, I think about how it's sick. But like with our business though, like everything is on our phone.
Yeah.
Everything.
I've been negotiating over text.
With like on MacBook. You need like I don't have the Apple Watch, but like at least then you can like sometimes answer the phone. Like
I know. Thank God I have a MacBook. And thank God I don't have like an Android or something. Or I'd really be off the grid.
Like that's it. They would be done. So what happened? You were in Chicago.
So the sunset was insane, beautiful. We're on a boat.
Worth it.
I'm taking a video of the sunset and boom, we hit a wave and it drops in the boat, bounces, and then goes right into the water. And we're going like 50 miles an hour straight ahead. Oh. And I just was like, there's nothing I could do.
I mean, in that moment, I would have been frozen. I literally would have been like,
I think I dropped to my knees. I was like, I dropped to my knees. In my head, I'm like, oh God, what can I get back? But I really realized, I'm like, I have iCloud. Everything, once I get a new one, it's going to be
Have you looked on your photos? Did the sunset make it to the iCloud before it
I haven't looked.
Sunk to the bottom of Lake Michigan?
We'll see when I get the new phone.
What were you in Chicago for?
A music festival.
So fun.
Yeah, I know. So I live this double life where I'm an agent Monday through Friday, and then usually the weekends, instead of doing open houses, I'm out doing music festivals.
Yeah. That's amazing.
It was fun.
That's super cool.
It was actually kind of nice too, for once, to like not be on my phone all weekend, to like really unplug and just.
I gotta tell you, there's like, you're gonna get it and you're gonna be like, oh God.
Yeah.
Like
back to work.
Like there's a peacefulness. Sometimes this is so stupid and like so ridiculous, like first world problems, but I will like take my dog on a walk and I'm like, you know what?
Leave it at home.
I'm gonna leave my phone here and I'm gonna be gone for like an hour and a half and like, oh well,
It's good for the mind.
It is good to unplug. Anyway, well, I'm glad you made it here, and the fishes are enjoying your phone at the bottom of Lake Michigan. But anyway, okay. So when you walked in, we were talking about, you had a couple stories. Which one do you want to start with? Did you say a homeless person?
Yeah.
This is always so fun.
This was a while ago. This was like, I think my first year. I was doing an open house for another agent and it was hot. It was a summer day. And
what part of town was it in?
In Mission Hills.
Okay. Well, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And it was this brand new, beautifully remodeled duplex. And I'm sitting there and this homeless man walks in And nice Jenny goes, hey, can I get you a water? Let me give you a donut. But then I also
feel threatened at all?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, at first I was like, okay, it's going to be quick. He's going to be in and out of here. And then I asked him to sign in, which is funny. And he literally took 30 minutes to sign. And he was like drawing pictures on the sign-in sheet. Like,
oh boy.
And then he sat on the couch and just drank his water and hung out there for literally an hour.
Was he really dirty and stinky?
Dirty and stinky. And I'm like, not on the white couch, but I couldn't like tell him not to sit, you know? And it was really nice though.
Were you there alone?
No, luckily there were people that were walking through, and one lady looked at me and she's like, I'm not going to leave until it leaves. I was like, thank you.
Wow, that's amazing.
It was really sweet.
Okay, good.
And it was fine. And I ended up calling one of my buddies, Crystal. I called her and I'm like, this is going on. I'm really scared. What should you do? And she sent her husband to come like make sure I was okay.
Okay, good. And did he get him to leave?
He got there right as he was leaving. So it worked out fine. It was fully safe. Everything was fine. But still, I was just
Was he like talking to you?
Not really.
So he was just sitting there.
Just thank you. Yeah. It was a hot day. So I honestly feel like he was just looking for some AC to relax for a second and sit down.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh man. I told this story a while ago on the podcast, but this was probably, this is pre-COVID, probably 2018, 2019. I was doing an open house for, I think, Seth O'Byrne's team.
Yeah.
And it was in North Park. And it was a little condo, and I was there by myself, and you had to we had to prop open the gate. It was like this building. It was like a 6-unit building, like super tiny. And I'm upstairs and this guy walks in, and have you ever had that like visceral reaction where like you start to sweat, your heart starts pounding, you're like, you get hot, like your body knows something is wrong.
Yeah.
And he's like, comes in, he rode in on a bike, had a backpack with a tennis racket in the back, and he was really sweaty. So I was like, okay, maybe he was just like going to play tennis. Like, I don't really know. Right. And he was like, oh, and I was like, I'm so sorry. My partner is on his way back here right now. He's calling me. I'm going to step out and chat with him for a minute. Go ahead and take a look around. If you have any questions, let me know. And I went outside. I was not going to get stuck in the house. You know what I mean? And I kind of like, when he came in, we did this dance where I then walked onto the patio and I was like standing in the doorway so that I wasn't inside where he could then close the door and like close me in, which I'll tell you another bit about that with situational awareness, which again, this comes up on the podcast a lot as women in the business. So he kind of walks around and he like was taking his time and he like wasn't really leaving. And I'm like, oh, good, you're parking. Okay, cool. I'll see you in just a minute. And I was on the phone with nobody, by the way. And he's like, oh, okay. And I was like, we're actually going to be closing up. Like it's the end of the day, you know, and it was like 2:00, but I was like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And he left and I closed the door and locked it. And then I like basically saw him like right away, quickly got all my stuff and got the hell out of there. And I was like, I'm not staying. Like, this is just, it something just like didn't feel right. And I didn't want him to come back. I didn't want to linger. And I mean, if I would have stayed, he could have come back, you know what I mean? And then I'm in there and what if I'm closing up in the bedroom and he's, you know, it's just, it could have been bad. On that note, my dad, when I was like 18, going to college, bought me a book called The Gift of Fear. And if you've never read it, I highly recommend. It's a hard read, but it's all about not living life in fear and like being situationally aware. So like, I'm always scanning. Because we're single women, right? Like we don't have kids. We don't have a husband walking around with us 24/7, you know, whatever. And so anytime I'm like in a parking lot or at the grocery store, I'm never on my phone and distracted. When I'm at an open house, I'm always like listening. Is anyone coming in a back door or whatever, you know, and I try not to do them alone anymore just because there's been a lot more attacks. I mean, we have to be super careful, you know? So I recommend that book for sure. It's a tough read, but
Gift of Fear.
Yeah. I mean, like I never answer my door. Amazon knocked on my door the other day and I was like, leave it right there. And he's like, I need the code. I'm like, what code? This is Amazon. He's like, there's a code you have to put in. And I was like, honey,
you're all sound suspicious.
Yeah, it did. I've never, and then sure enough, he's like, okay. So he's talking to me through the door. Sweetest guy. Go into your app. Go to the thing. Does it say? And I'm like, oh my God, it does. And I'm like, 4598. And he's like, okay, thanks. And he dropped it. And I'm like, what the hell is that? Like, so anyway, hot tip. If anyone knocks on your door and you think like Amazon's asking for a code, for some reason, I guess it's like a form of signature, which I didn't order anything fancy. I don't know what it was. Anyway, but it's good for us to be aware because we do open houses all the time. Lena, who came on this podcast a while back, did you see?
Is she the one where they stole stuff out of the
and it like went viral? Right? Yes. And he was like hitting different open houses and another agent contacted her and was like, thanks to you posting that story, I saw him and come into my open house, and I immediately followed him around with my clipboard, and luckily my lender was with me. So she showed him around, and then she was like, okay, that's it. Like we have to give everyone a tour. You may leave now, kind of thing. You know what I mean? But like creep, because that's what if he escalates? What if it becomes something where he's just rummaging through and look, and then he gets pissed off or something worse. You know what I mean? Like mine goes again. Yeah. Worst case scenario. But yeah, it is scary. So I'm glad that was, oh my God, he's just like sitting on, was it a staging couch or was it their furniture?
A white staged couch. And
well, at least it wasn't dirty. I'd be really pissed if I came home and you're like, see this brown spot? This is where a homeless person was sitting. I would be so mad. So at least it was staging. We can dry clean those. You know what I mean?
It's always weird too when people like ask to go to the bathroom. I'm like,
do you need to?
I guess.
Do you really have
what
to?
What are you going to do in there?
I do put, in any of my listings that are vacant, I do put toilet paper in the bathroom. Yeah. And I also bring cleaning supplies just because like sometimes I have to pee. But then I'm like, people come in all the time. I had another Kevin who came on this podcast, gosh, over a year ago. He had a dad that came in and was like, oh, can my daughter use the bathroom? And he's like, sure, there's a bathroom right there. 30 minutes later, the dad is like standing guard outside the door. And he's like, baby. So is she done yet? Or like, what's happening? He's like, honey. And she's like, I'm almost done. You know, she was like 6 and like not coming out of the bathroom. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God. He's like, I got to the point where I went to their office, printed out a photo of what the bathroom looked like and hung it next to the door because she was in there for so long. And I was like, oh my God.
Like what knickknacks are in her bag now? But also, literally, how awkward is it when you have to go poop at an open house?
I won't. I won't do it.
I've had to a time or two.
I mean, there's sometimes where things happen, right? And you're just like, oh my God, this is not good. Yeah. But like, and actually Jim McInerney was on here a couple weeks ago. And he literally, I think the question at the end, we played a game and I was like, what's the most embarrassing thing? And I'm pretty sure he said he was going to the bathroom and a client like walked in on him or something. And I was like, why would you do that there? And he's like, I had to go. And I'm like, no.
Because I have a coffee before pretty much every open house.
Oh yeah, you got to be caffeined up. God. You're like, oh no, not again.
No, not now.
Do you keep like stuff in your car? Like a kit? Yes. Like I have toilet paper, paper towels.
I learned that my first open house. I remember my very first open house. There was no toilet paper, no chairs, and nothing. It was vacant, and I was just standing there the whole time.
It's the worst. I'm like, I'm gonna bring a camping chair, and I have the one with the little pull-out table, and I'm like, here's the sign-in sheet. I'm gonna sit right here. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. So anyway, well, I'm glad that was not.
I know it didn't turn bad. Everything was fine, but like it was a little spooky.
It can be a little bit spooky. Yeah. You just never know what you're gonna find. So anyway.
Behind the Lockbox is sponsored by Property Showcase Group. Property Showcase Group has a team of creatives, directors, producers, editors, marketing specialists, and designers that work in tandem to tell and share stories of the built environment. Whether you're looking for full-service production or simply just need content creation, Property Showcase Group can help take your business to the next level. To learn more or to contact Property Showcase Group to schedule a consultation, you can find them at propertyshowcasegroup.com. That's spelled PropertyShowcasegroup.com. PropertyShowcaseGroup.com. I'm back to talk about our sponsor and producer, Property Showcase Group. This is for all my agent and affiliate friends out there. Property Showcase Group has a special offer for you. The first 3 agents to email Property Showcase Group at teampsg@propertyshowcasegroup.com will get 1 month free of social media management using code LOCKBOX. That's right, 1 month free. And they're offering 20% off your first video production using code LOCKBOX. For more information, contact Property Showcase Group at teampsg@propertyshowcasegroup.com, and don't forget to use code LOCKBOX or mention this podcast.
Okay, you have another one?
Yeah. Well, this one's kind of sad. Like, I don't think we're going to be laughing.
That's okay.
but it's real because I feel as women, like we're so great at this job because things like this happen, you know, like we help people through divorce, through, you know, their pregnancies as they're growing their families, like beautiful moments, sad moments. And
selling a house is very emotional 90% of the time because they've made memories there. They've spent time there, whatever the case may be. Right. And like I'm in an escrow right now that it's super heightened and super emotional. And it's just because they've lived there for 15 years and like they're all moving out of state. Yeah, it's hard. And like, you know, mom's moving with them, you know, grandma's moving with them. But like they built a new ADU for her and like she's not really getting to live in it like she thought. And so I think it's just, it can be tough, right? Like we have to be therapists a lot of the time, and you have to have that empathy to deal with those situations. So what happened?
I know. Well, we've had that too, just speaking on what you said, where the couple that owned the front house, they divorced, but their mom had just built like this brand new ADU in the backyard, and she was so upset. Like,
not only are they going through a divorce,
and now their mother-in-law has to move out of this ADU that she just put like $300,000 into build. And so the whole time, like, she didn't even talk to her daughter at the time because she was so upset that like their divorce is like bleeding onto their whole family,
I mean, it really is at that point.
Crazy.
Yeah. And it can. I mean, these are the things that happen. And what are the 3D? Isn't it like divorce, death,
and
what's the other? Isn't there another one? Shows how much we know.
Degree?
Maybe
college. I don't know.
We can make that up. Anyway, I like where your head's at. Okay. Anyway, so these were clients of yours. Did you have the buy side or the list side?
So this is crazy. Is I've actually helped them buy a house and I was helping them sell at the same time.
Okay.
And they were buying this beautiful house in Alpine that had like 4 acres.
Nice.
And they're selling their house in El Cajon.
Okay.
And so I actually helped them buy before they sold.
Okay. That's
which was
nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It actually ended up helping so much in the long run. But they, on closing day, or no, 3 days before closing day, they found out their 3-year-old son got just diagnosed with leukemia.
No.
And it rocked. I mean, they almost had to cancel because their doctor said no big life changes right now, like no moving.
I can't even imagine.
So they've been in and out of the hospital seriously every single day since. And we had to sign the closing docs in the hospital. I had to go to them.
Wow.
And I can't even describe like the moment when I saw my client in the hospital. She came up to me and I held, because that was the first time I had found out too, and she just sobbed in my arms for 15 minutes. It was one of the saddest days of my career ever, for sure.
And like, we care.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not a turn 'em and burn 'em business. This is a relationship business. And like my clients, I mean, 98% of them are friends now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Where like they trust you because again, you've gotten them through these life moments. And so like I'm going to see clients on Sunday that we closed a house a couple months ago. And like, I always do that every couple months. I'm like, hey, can I stop by? Like, I want to see the house, whatever. Yeah. Exactly. So I can't even imagine. I mean, I would have done the same thing. I would have been like, what do you need? Tap me in, coach. Like I'll, whatever you need, so.
Yeah. And so after that, I got like pretty much pulled in as their project manager because this house that they bought, they had to remodel it. And so could you imagine
Oh my God. But luckily they did not sell their place first.
Yeah, they didn't sell.
So they were able to like stay home, but then they were able to still move forward.
So we canceled the listing so that they could live there in the meantime while they're remodeling. And it was just like after we had found out they were in and out of the hospital, we had a few showings and like they cleaned up a few times and then the showing would cancel right before. And they're just like, let's take it off the market for now because this
you can't handle that. It's too much. 100%. Yeah.
So they're just about to be finished remodeling and moving in, but it's
so this was recent.
Yeah. Just a few months ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's actually a blessing in disguise because this new house is like 4 acres. So now they have this huge outdoor space for their son and he's high risk. He can't go to school. His brother, so there are 3 boys. His brothers can't even like go to school, go to parks, go to play.
Because they can't bring home germs.
If they're high risk and they bring home, then it'll. So
wow.
Now they have this.
I was going to ask if he was an only child.
No.
That's good. I'm glad that they've got, that's so they'll be able to kind of like COVID days, right? Like kind of be there and
make
is he doing okay? Is he gonna?
He's okay. He's like going through
treatment,
chemo. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's been hard because like every treatment kind of counteracts something else. Like it makes him sick in another way. And so it's been rough. He's okay. But
chemo is hard. And I can't even imagine going through that as a child.
I know.
You know what I mean? Because it does. I mean, my uncle is a brain cancer survivor and just to see all the subsequent things that he's had to deal with since then. Like he's had both hips replaced because the steroids that took the brain swelling down deteriorated both hips. So then he had both hips replaced. So we're like calling him Bionic Man. He's had 3 brain surgeries. The second or the third one was just a few months ago. My aunt sends us a text and she's like, okay, we're out walking. And I'm like, what do you mean? It's been 2 days. And she's like, oh yeah, no, we got home this morning. It is wild.
Wow.
Wild what they can do. And he's doing great. But like he's an adult. So I can't even imagine when I've seen what he's gone through and that how old is the child?
He's 3.
He's 3.
And he's just the sweetest boy. So I literally got this tattoo like with a little bit of him in it because the time I showed them that house,
Yeah.
he was walking around and he found these flowers, and I'll never forget it. He was like, "Here, mommy, these are for you." And I was just like, that is the cutest boy ever. And I like fell in love with him that day, you know? And so this is my dog's name is Goose. So I got a little goose tattoo, and he's holding flowers, and he's like, "Here, mommy, these are for you." So
my Jenny, I'm gonna cry. I love that. Also, I love that your dog's name is Goose.
Yeah.
And that you have a
baby.
tattoo for I also have a baby. She's right there. Her name is Gwen.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Goose is a doodle.
Oh, we have to get them
sheepadoodle.
together.
Yeah.
Oh my God, she's a Cavapoo, so she's like 14 pounds, but
Everyone thinks he's a Cavapoo because he's little.
really?
Both of his mom and dad were micros or minis.
mini, so
like a
he's
micro.
little. Oh my God, Gwen would love him.
Does he need a girlfriend or boyfriend?
Yeah.
'Cause mine's
Yeah.
single.
Yeah. Gwen, she would love him.
Yeah.
She's struggling with like small little dogs that are girls,
Yeah.
but boys
She
loves.
Okay, good.
Loves them. We have to get them together.
let's
Oh my
do it.
God,
Doodle
that's so
parties.
fun. I actually have. Yeah, I have a necklace. I don't have it on right now, but it says Gwen. And people like that don't know me, they kind of look at it and I'm like,
Is your name Gwen?
it's my dog. You had my name right. It's Stephanie. It's
funny.
my dog. So
Yeah.
I don't have a tattoo yet, but I have a little Gwen necklace.
Yeah.
So I love that.
That's cute. My boyfriend got a matching one too. We got matching. That was his first tattoo ever. I was
God,
like,
you guys
wow.
are so cute. I love that. And it has
family.
little flowers in it.
I know.
Oh my God, I love that. How long have you and your boyfriend been together?
We have been together for almost 4 years now. Yeah. It's nice.
Growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We started long distance. He was living in Chicago when we met, so we were long
wow.
distance
Are
for
you
a while.
from there?
But no, he lived there just for a few years. so-
Okay. Are you born and raised here?
Yeah. In
Okay.
California. I was born by like San Francisco.
Oh, that's right. Because you were just telling me your nephews are up there.
Yeah. And then most of my life was Fresno, which I don't know if you've ever been, but it's nothing special. And so I
have
literally
not been to Fresno, but I've heard.
don't go.
I don't really plan on it, you know?
yeah. I visited here one time after college, and I was like, oh, done, moved.
Did you go to Fresno State?
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, is that the right college? I don't
And it
know.
was literally like the week I was graduating, and I came here and I was like, oh, done.
I'm not
Moving
going
there.
back. Can you guys ship
Yeah.
my stuff here, please? I went to Arizona State. So, and I'm from the Phoenix area. So like, I understand the heat.
Yeah.
And like
very hot
the
in
valley,
Fresno,
because
too.
that is the valley there. So like, I get it. And I've been coming here. My aunt and uncle live here. The one that survived brain cancer, they live in Solana Beach. And so I've been coming here since I was 2. And I just was like, I have like, this is it. Like, what am I doing? It is so hot there. Like, I'm never going back.
And you can like travel the world. This is still the best place in the world.
Okay.
I will say.
I recently, this is like such a tangent. Sorry, everyone. Hang with us. 2 summers ago, we went to, not this past, maybe it was last summer. I don't know time. Anyway, to the North Carolina like beaches, like Sunset Beach, whatever. And everyone's like, oh my God, you're going to love it. It is, I get there and I'm like,
What is this?
what the? It was hot. It
Yeah.
was windy. I get it. I'm like, well, surely the ocean will feel great then, right? Like I love the ocean. I'm a water baby. I get in and I'm like, bath water. The water was
hot.
like 80 something degrees, 90 degrees. I was like, no, it was literally hot water. And I was like, okay. And my niece was just born like a month before that, like 7 or 8 weeks before that, a couple months. So we had her come and my brother and sister-in-law came. We literally sat in our beautiful little Airbnb with the baby for a week. And I was like,
Sat in there.
and then we took the golf cart to get ice cream and then came back. And I was like, I don't need to go anywhere else. But to that point, like everyone's like, oh, you didn't like it? I'm like, have you seen the beach that I live on? Like, why?
I know.
What?
I can't believe you're so close.
Oh my
You
God.
just walk
It
to
is
the shore.
every weekend. Like,
That's awesome.
you should come down this weekend.
Yeah.
This is where I will be sitting on the sand. It's gonna be like 90 this weekend. It's gonna, I mean, it's just like, I did go to Turks and Caicos for my birthday.
Ooh.
Everyone is sick of me talking about it. I know on this podcast because I've said it 17,000 times, but that was another level.
Yeah.
Have you done Hawaii?
Yes.
So I've never done Hawaii and I'm like, not really.
I love it. And
Okay.
that's actually why I chose San Diego.
Okay.
Before
It felt
I had
similar?
only been to Hawaii and I was like, oh, I want to move to Hawaii. But then
Okay.
I found San Diego and it's on land and kind of like it, but
Okay.
not. But no, Hawaii is beautiful. It's like fresh, the fruit, the
I'm
pog
sure
juice,
I'll
the
go at
acai
some point.
bowls.
Yeah, I'm down, but like, you know,
Yeah.
the Caribbean was calling a little stronger. You know, I don't
Yeah.
know. Anyway, okay. Well, that's enough of that tangent. Should we play a game?
Yes.
Because this
Let's
might
play a
incite some
game.
stories. Okay. All right. This, I feel like I actually wrote this question. Someone actually told me I should ask this question. And then last night when I was going through like redoing some of the questions, I was like, I have to ask this to Jenny because I feel like this is the perfect question for you.
Okay.
Okay. The game is called Punch List because we
Okay.
hit you with questions. So you're supposed to like first thing that comes to mind. Okay.
Okay.
So the first one is, what is your biggest hot take for the industry right now? Do you know what a hot take? I feel like I need to explain hot take to people. Okay. So a hot take is an opinion that is often like provocative or goes against mainstream views. So something that like, I don't know, people are like open houses are overrated. I don't know, something that like a lot of people would do, but you're like, no. Can you think of anything?
Well, it's just the Selling Sunset thing right now because the Oppenheim group is here now. And everyone's like, Jenny, you better go.
No. So I'm really, really good friends with Vidi Ravelli, and she is on Jason Oppenheim's team at the Oppenheim Group. My friend Sean Palmieri was on Selling Sunset OC.
Yeah. No. I saw that they like
Vidi's killing it.
Yeah.
Killing it. So proud of her.
They have done like their volume is bigger than they've done in LA and OC. So it's like,
I actually did hear that their San Diego volume was bigger than the OC. I don't know about the LA office, but for sure OC. Yeah. The agents that are here, the agents that were here, they were already here selling. Yeah. You know what I mean? Exactly. So like they're not on the show. They're not like, you know, whatever, right? And some of the agents in LA, they were really selling those big. And by the way, I know people that know Jason. I mean, him and his brother do a lot of volume. I mean, they do luxury real estate. Like they truly do. The show is kind of a separate entity, but
yeah. I agree. Like I feel obviously they sell big houses, and that's what I think here is like why they're doing so well is because it's such a well-known brand, and a lot of people are like, I want my house on the TV. Right. You know, they want that.
Right.
But
don't you agree that like the brokerage, unless of course you're doing something to try to get on the show or whatever, like with that but like the brokerage doesn't totally matter. Yeah. Our clients are working with us. Yeah. Like they work with us because they like us, they trust us, they want, and then the icing on the cake is the marketing, is the property videos, is whatever, right? Yeah. And so, I mean, it totally just depends.
You do yourself too, right? Like your videographers are your
100%.
videographers.
You're the one filming the video. You're the one paying for all those things. Let me just say this again for the people in the back. Yeah. When we have a listing, we're fronting
for all that.
And if it cancels, we're out that money. Yeah. So, you know, again, just hot tip, everybody. Like when you hire a listing agent, make sure you hire the right one, and you know, you pay for all that stuff. So it's interesting. But okay, what is the craziest or pettiest thing that's ever killed or almost killed one of your deals?
Well, it didn't kill.
Okay, good.
But well, it did. Okay, so my client literally day one of escrow had a heart attack. He didn't die.
Okay,
He's
good. Okay, good.
But yeah,
but it killed the deal.
It killed the deal, but he didn't
Thank God it didn't kill him. Okay, good. Okay, that's perfect.
That was
Some people have been like, you know, a refrigerator door seal, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Because you know, you get into these escrows, and people are like, nope, I'm not budging on that. No, I'm not paying for the termite, and you're like, it's $500. I'm gonna pay for it myself because this is insane. And then we've had that too. And the agents were like, I just paid for it. And the buyer was like, no, I don't want you paying for it. And he did anyway. Because he's like, I'm not letting this kill the deal. Like, this is insane, you know? Anyway. Okay.
This made me think of another one. Though.
Please.
It's funny. So it wasn't my listing. It was Pete's while I was on his team.
Okay.
It was actually the first
Shout out Pete Middleton. We love you.
Love you, Pete Middleton. Pete knows. But it was one of the first houses I ever like shadow showed with him.
Okay.
And it had a music studio at the bottom level. And I was like,
I mean, hello. Yeah.
Home. But that house, so they sold it. It was like a $7 million house. The reason they sold it within 2 or 3 months is because their cats did not like the house. Because they were roaming around the, you know, balconies and stuff, and hawks kept trying to eat their cats. And so they sold the house within 2 or 3 months. They're like, we got to get out of here. Our cats aren't happy. They're almost going to die.
Because a cat doesn't like the house.
Yes.
Okay.
So cats will kill a deal.
Well, you know, are you a dog person or a cat person? Obviously, you have a dog, but are you both?
Dog.
Sorry. Again, nobody come for us.
Sorry.
I'm just like, I'm a cat person. I can't. Okay. I already know this question, and I'm going to tell it to you, so we don't need it. Well, I don't know. Maybe it would be different. I don't think so. If you could be anything other than a real estate agent, what would you be and why? A DJ or a singer?
DJ.
Yeah. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to ask you is, what is the weirdest thing or situation you've ever walked in on? You have one?
Yeah.
Oh, what is it?
Well, I was doing a showing, and luckily I was showing one of my good friends.
Okay.
A loft down in downtown San Diego.
Oh God, I'm scared.
And we went up to the top of the loft, and there was like a used bed and a used condom hanging out.
No.
No. It's disgusting.
No.
And I'm like, thank God this is my friend here and not like a, you know.
And also,
I guess anybody, but
again, to reiterate, you were the buyer agent. Mm-hmm. So there was a listing agent not there because it was just like on lockbox, basically. On lockbox. Okay. All right.
So, yeah.
Did you take a picture and show it to the station?
I did tell her. I was like, girl, you got to go clean it up in there.
You need to get your client under control.
But it's just weird, right? I'm like, who was doing this? Who has access? Was it an agent? Could you imagine? Like, because
in my mind, yes, it was. Yeah. I like to think that now.
Or it's like the tenant or something like that. Who else has the key besides an agent?
How lazy are you
the owner?
That you cannot, was like the bed a mess and was shit everywhere too.
Quick go. Yeah.
Bro, and you can't.
I was not going to touch it. I'm like,
put it in the trash when you're done. Like, what are you doing? Yeah.
Well, there's no trash can because it's vacant. There's no furniture. So that's probably why.
Betty Tashakorian came on a few weeks ago. Did you hear that?
Betty.
Oh my God. I'm obsessed with her. She had a listing downtown. Betty, is this yours? It wasn't, because she was there doing all the showings. She walked in one day to show it and it looked like, I don't even know what kind of party had just happened.
Oh my gosh.
She found multiple used condoms in the bedroom. I was like, you know what I would have done? I would have picked, of course she cleaned up. She like found paper towel and bags and was like picking stuff up, right? Because she had to. I was like, I would have used tongs or some kitchen utensils, picked up, and I would have put those kitchen utensils right back in and been like, yeah, go ahead and use them now, sucker. Like
everything it conveys.
Yeah. And by the way, I hope you cook with those tonight, idiot.
Gosh.
I mean, come on. Like it does astonish me, some of the things we walk into.
Yeah.
And like, I've walked in some nasty houses where I like look at my clients and I'm like, I'm going to get masks. This is still COVID time. I was like, no one touch a thing. We were like masking up, gloving up. After masks were like done. But it was just like, there was like a hospital bed in the middle of the living room. And we're all just standing here like, wait, did somebody die? Is someone living here? What is happening? Like, it's creepy. Anyway, so
I have had to clean out. So a house when we sold, the owners had passed away. So it was like a trust deal.
Okay.
And I've had to clean it out before and found like multiple diapers, which was nasty.
Yeah. Actually, I was just doing a showing with a buyer and I posted this on social media. This was probably, a couple months ago now, because they've been in their house at least a month or two. And we walk in this one room and they're like, Steph. And there's like a pair of like a box of Depends. And then up on the shelf, a headless doll.
What?
That's all that was in the room.
You're like, what do I even make of this?
And I was like, at first I looked up and I screamed, and then they started laughing because I was like, ah! Like it's just like, and the head was like nowhere to be found.
Oh my
And it was a doll that was like this big. Like it wasn't like a little tiny. It was
those
like
all-American dolls.
But yes, when we grew up, that were like life size or whatever.
Yeah.
It was literally like sitting like this tall on this shelf, and I was like, okay, to the agent though. That's what you're going to leave in here. And the box of, okay. Well, on that note, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
We're going to have
you
back.
We could have like a 4-hour podcast.
We absolutely could. And we would be talking about God knows what. And people would be like, okay, you guys need to wrap it up now. Anyway, thank you so much for being here.
Speaking of wrap it up.
Yeah.
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up right now. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Please don't forget to rate, review, like, share, subscribe, all the things. And we will see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. Behind the Lockbox is produced and edited by Property Showcase Group. If you like this podcast, please share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, or review this podcast. Thanks for your support. See you next week.